Now, we have one more poet that I'm going to be bringing on tonight. Uh, Last but not least, it's Pamela Glasgow from the House of Glasgow. And I didn't make it up there this year, Pamela. I wanted to, and I just didn't make it up to Glasgow to go to amongst your people. Now, Pamela and I go back a number of years, and I've given this story before, but I'll quickly do it now. I started several years ago. I saw a couple of these psalms floating around, and I just picked up one of them and I read them. I'm like, hey, this is really good. And I was told that it was a paleo. I didn't even get it from Pamela. I don't even remember who I got from. And so I went to Pamela and I said, this is really good. And she had translated one of the psalms through Paleo. And I said, is it okay if we host this on the website, on the Unexpected Cosmology? And she, was like, okay, yes, yeah, sure, And I put it up, and she started putting out more and more. We started hosting them, and then that broke into this epic vision. And this is all Pamela, that she's doing this, and of course Rebecca is teaming up with her as the editor. But this epic vision of translating the entire Bible through the Paleo. And for those of you who are wondering how this works, we've explained this in the past, but we know that the process of overlaying works because in Genesis chapter 3, the cat in the hat doesn't show up. So Paleo is a beautiful it gives the scripture so much more depth. I remember when she started showing me early, basically an early document of what became Bereshith of Genesis. And of course, since this time, we've put out the entire Torah. We almost have all the Psalms completed, which Pamela will be reading from tonight. We have Song of Songs. We have Joshua. We're getting ready to premiere Jude here real quick. We put out Matthew. And I remember the first time I read Genesis, and she was just showing she just would lay out all the possibilities, the depth of what Genesis meant. Genesis chapter 1. And I'm just like, Pamela, this is really, really good stuff. So without any further ado, I'll bring her up, and I'm thank you for coming, Pamela, tonight. I'm just gonna put you up on stage. You can take over. Here we go.
Thank you. I appreciate everyone. As Noel said, I'm Pamela Glasgow, and I started a journey some time ago, and my journey actually started with the Psalms. I was a church musician, and my first desire, I was trying to put the Psalms to music, and so I started out and into the Paleo and trying to see what was really said in those things, so I could the rhythms of them, the music of them. And so when Noel asked me, would I participate in this poetry reading, I've got all these different Psalms, and the question is which ones, which ones to do. So I decided that I would keep to the Psalms of David, and I love David. I've just always been, I guess I've held David in high regard. Yes, even despite his crime, even his mistakes, I've always been, because he's a musician and he went through some stuff. For those of you who don't know, just to give you a little bit of backstory about David, we know David the character from the Bible, but what you don't know, you have to sort of read through the lines in Scripture, but you also, some traditions, tell us that, he was not highly regarded by his family. He was not highly regarded at all. In fact, he says, from my youth, I was afflicted. So the reason for this is because, he was conceived and brought forth of parents who were not in a covenant relationship with each other. We would, in our terms, our thoughts, in modern times, was he's illegitimate. And his very existence offended some members of his family, and it lowered his father's status in the community. And because of that, they shunted him aside. He was isolated, and he was not treated like part of the family. He was left alone in the wilderness. And I've wondered at some of the things he had to endure. And so I'm going to be reading from his, and I'm going to start actually with one that is not in the canon. This is Psalm 151, and it is part of the Great Psalm Scroll from the Dead Sea Scrolls, and it's from it was originally it's originally in the Katav Ashuri, which is the Assyrian script, and I transcribed it into the Paleo before I translate it. So I'm going to read to you Psalm 151, and this was written after his confrontation with Goliath. So Psalm 151, a hallelujah of Daud ban Yeshaya, which is David, son of Jesse. I existed insignificant among my brothers, and youngest among my father's sons. And present ready, I became a shepherd for his sheep, and a ruler over his goats. My hand fashioned a pipe, and my fingers a kinnor. I gave honor to the splendor of Yahweh, and I declared, unto my Nephash, the mountains do not testify of him, nor do the hills make great praise over him. O trees, listen to my words, and O sheep of my deeds. Because who will tell, and who will speak, and who will inscribe from the works of Adon? The whole he has heard, and he has inclined his ear. He sent forth his prophet to anoint me, unto Samael to raise me up. My brothers came forth to call out unto him. Beautiful was the turn of their countenance, and comely was their appearance. They were tall at their rising. They were adorned in their hair. But Yahweh was not inclined toward them. But he sent forth, and he took me from following after the sheep, and anointed me with oil, and he established me among the sons of the covenant. The start of the courage of David, after the prophet of Alahayam had anointed him. I observed the Philistine, who reviled me from the ranks of the Philistines. I went forth to meet him. In the strength of Yahweh, I cast forth stones. I struck him in the forehead, and I caused him to fall to the ground. Then I drew forth his own sword and cut off his head. By this was removed the reproach of Yasharal. The next one is Psalm 142, and this one was written by David when he was on the run from Saul, King Saul, and he was living in a cave. So this is Psalm 142, a hymn of supplication. My voice toward Yahweh I will cry out. My voice toward Yahweh I will incline. I will pour forth my quarrel before his face, conspicuously in the front part of his face. I will declare the narrowness of my distress. When darkness wrapped over me, over my nephesh, then you did know my trodden footpath. In this way wherein I will walk, they have hidden a snare for me. Regard the right side and observe. There lacks to me any who recognizes me. Refuge has failed me. There is no one who treads about inquiring after my nephesh. I cry out toward you, O Yahweh. I have declared you are my refuge, my portion in the land of the living ones. Sharpen your hearing toward my mournful cry, for I am absolutely hanging by a thread. Snatch me away from my pursuers, for they are more swift-footed than me. Bring forth my nephesh from the shut-up prison, that I may cast forth praise unto your name. The righteous shall surround me when you bountifully repay benefits upon me. Now, this next one is actually from the second book of second volume of the Psalms. And this is when he was in the wilderness. He actually wrote 2 cave poems, but time constraints being what there are. I'm going to read from Psalm 63, and he is in the wilderness of Judah. It's a Mizmor of David. Alahayam, Ma'al, the power and authority in Yasharal. For you will I seek early, rising in the morning, searching earnestly. My nephesh, the living, breathing, vital essence of self, thirsts, suffers in a barren, parched land, a solitary place, devoid of life-giving streams. My flesh exists naked, weak, weary upon the earth. Here I find only destruction and failure. Where is the life-giving stream? Appear now, I pray, in strength, in power, in majesty, in honor, for I have beheld in a vision your sanctuary. Because your loving commitment is fair, full of cheerfulness and joy, more beautiful, more bountiful, the source of true wealth, true prosperity, and all that is pleasant and good. I will praise you with my words, with my speech, with my breathing in and my breathing out. While I have life, while I have breath, from this time and further than I can see or perceive, to the edge of the horizon and beyond. Whenever I remember, in my chamber, upon my bed, during the night watch, I will meditate, I will recite, because you exist, my help, one who leads me by the hand. In the shadow of protection, I will give a ringing cry. Beneath the feathers of your wings, under the corners of your garment, I will sing. I cling to you. My nephesh, the living, breathing, vital essence of self, follows after you. In your hand you hold me. You seize my right hand. Those who bring ruin and destruction, those who lay waste the land, those that desire to ravish my nephesh, shall go down into the lowest part of the earth, into the nether regions. They shall be poured out. They shall flow by the hand, by the sword. They shall become an offering for jackals. And Malach, messenger king, he shall rejoice. Be merry in Alhayam, because everyone who has bound himself with an oath, the mouth that declares falsehood and deception, shall be stopped. And that was Psalm 63. Now, the next one that I thought I would read for you is, I'm being a little daring with this one, because this one, there's a lot of mistranslation. This is Psalm 110. And there's a lot of misunderstanding about this one. And it does illustrate the fact that David was a shepherd. He was afflicted. He was mistreated by his family. They really didn't have a lot of use for him uh, until after he's anointed. Even after he'd been anointed in front of his family, still his brothers weren't treating him with any respect at all. And besides being a prophet, I mean, a king, a fugitive, he was also a prophet. He was a prophet. And so this is one of the prophecies that was given to David. It's a Mazamur of David, and it begins with an utterance of Yahweh unto Adonijah. That's the title. Abide at my right side until I appoint your haters as a footstool for your feet. The branch of your strength he shall send forth from Zion. Take possession in the midst of your enemies. Your people are a spontaneous offering in the day you display valor. In the ornamented splendor of the Kudash, from the womb, from the breaking forth, to you belongs the dew of your youth. Yahweh has sworn an oath of 7, and he will not relent. You are a priest unto time of long duration, after the manner of Malchiah Zadok, my righteous messenger. Adonijah is at your right side. He will shatter kings in the day of his wrath. He will judge the Goyim, filling them with dead bodies. He will smite the head over the greater Arats. He will drink from the torrent valley along the way. Over this manner he will lift up the head. Now, this one is Psalm 108. This is one of the ones that I set to music, and this is a praise unto Yah, and it also has a little bit of prophecy in it as well. So this is a song and a mazamor of David. My heart is established, O Alahayam. I will sing, and indeed I will play with my honor. Be alert, watchful, with the Nabal and the Kanur. I will awaken the dawn. I will cast forth praise among the peoples, O Yahweh, and I will pluck the stringed instruments among all the nations. For great above Shamayam is your Hasad, as far as the clouds your truth. Be lifted up over Shamayam, O Alahayam, and over all Arats. Be exalted, the heavy weight of your splendor, for the purpose of setting free your beloved. Make spacious your right side and answer me. Alahayam has set words in order. In his Kudash I will emit a sound of joy. I will appoint Shechem, the valley of Sakhoth. I will measure out. To me is Gad. To me is Manusha, and Ephraim is the fortified strength of my head, and Yehudah is my scepter. Moab is my washing pot. Over Adon I will cast away my shoe. Over Phalashath I will raise an alarm. Who will bear me forth to the fortified city? Who will lead me as far as Adon? Alahayam, have you not cast away as loathsome? And you, Alahayam, no longer go forth with our armies. Give assistance to us from the narrowness of distress. For vain, empty is the deliverance of Edom. In Alahayam we will fashion strength, and he will trample into pieces our adversaries. And this one, this is one of the songs of the ascending. And the songs of ascending are a little bit unique in amongst the Psalms of David, and I think there are a few of Korach. And these were written, and there's been some speculation that they were used to when they were ascending to the tabernacle, and it was like a processional music toward the tabernacle. And some people have said that it was used in the temple, but of course, if during David's time, there wasn't a temple on earth. It was the tabernacle. It was his son Solomon who began the work of the temple. And so this is one of the songs of David, a song of the ascending, Psalm 131. O Yahweh, not lifted up is my heart, and not exalted are my eyes, and not with pride are my goings, nor amongst wonders removed from me do I walk. Conditionally, have I not compared, and have quieted my nephesh like a winged one, cherished, carried aloft upon his mother, like a cherished one upon me is my nephesh. The hope and expectation of Yasharal is al Yahweh, from the present time unto time of long duration. And thus is that those are the ones that I had prepared, and I want to thank you all for letting me be part of this, and for letting me share. At least most of these were, as I said, these were new, and I've not even typed these up. These are the last volume, and in a little way, it's kind of poignant that it started my journey, and I feel a little poignancy, it's a little bittersweet to finish up with the Psalms. And so I guess I thank you. I guess, Noel.
All right. Thank you, Pamela. And that concludes it for tonight. So, excuse me, I should have cleared my throat before I came on. Thank you, everyone, for listening tonight and showing up. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. I want to do this again amongst all just the craziness of this world. And we spend so much time, researching and looking into the depths of the lies. And it's nice just to be able to just sit back, and I mean, guys, this was amazing. Randy's in, Pamela's still here, Polly left, Vicky left, but every single one of them had unique spins and very enjoyable ways just to hear the breakdown of truth. Hopefully this was relaxing for everybody, but not if you were driving. If you were listening to this and you were driving, hopefully it was not too relaxing for you. Hopefully you were staying focused on your commute home.